nervous, on the surface I look fine. My brain feels heavy, my traumatized mind. And I'm so tired, I can't feel my eyes. Whoa, whoa. I'm petty, but I know how to lie. I feel feelings that I can't describe. I'm not breathing, but I'm still alive. Whoa, whoa. But I think I'll be alright, 'cause I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up yet. I feel that it's my time, so I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. So I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. Hope. So many days have passed. I wait around for things to change, but change has not come fast. I'm asking all the questions, but then I question them. Like, what's the point of living, existing when you can't see your God in flesh? I'm looking for the answers, they say to pray instead. I think I'll find them one day, but with a helping hand. I know that it's not easy, but I believe I will. Yeah, I'll get over all my fears and really conquer everything. I think I'll be alright, 'cause I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up yet. I feel that it's my time, so I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. So I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got. I'ma give it everything. I'ma give it everything I got.
You're just standing on the cusp of what's okay and not morally gray, textbook insane. Now I'd like to draw this line you've crossed so many times. At this point I'm out of my mind. What's the point in loving someone morally confusing? It's not likely. You're so unlike me. Oh, I can't shake this feeling, 'cause I think I'm falling for the villain, and it's not looking like a good decision. Oh, and I try so hard to understand this, and you won't attempt to reprimand it. Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold, or just say no? I know we can't pick and choose. I might just fall for you. It's not all win or lose, no black and white, there's color too. And I know how bad this sounds, but the silence is too damn loud. Guess you're not that bad. Did I say that? What's the point in loving someone morally confusing? It's not likely. It's so unlike me. Oh, I can't shake this feeling, 'cause I think I'm falling for the villain, and it's not looking like a good decision. Oh, and I try so hard to understand this, and you won't attempt to reprimand this. Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold, or just say no? Should I say no? Should I say no? I can't say no. I can't say no. Oh, I can't shake this feeling, 'cause I think I've fallen for hard to understand this, and you won't attempt to reprimand it. Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold? I can't say no, I can't say no. Oh, I can't shake this feeling, 'cause I know I've fallen for the villain, and it's a really, really bad decision. Oh, and I try so hard to understand this, and you won't attempt to reprimand it. Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold? Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold? Should I sit, take it in, let it all unfold? I can't say no.
Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, but I just want it. Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Oh baby, if you ever need a helper, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it. Yeah, I just wanna. I just want it. Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? See myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? Can you see myself? But I just want it.
Inside, I knew from the start, you my bunny, I'm your Clark. From now to eternity, I give you all my heart. We are meant to be, it's clear to see. My love is bigger than I thought. I got everything I want when I hold you with my arms. Now this don't matter, my love and my pleasure, the key to my treasure. Whatever's the weather, day up and out with you till I die. How many times for you I'ma try? Want you to notice the one and I know this perfect soulmate. I wanna show it my best friend. She saved my life, my happy end in hard times.
Oh baby, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself. But I just want it. Hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself. But I just want it. Okay. Hug it to myself, hug it to myself, hug it to myself, to myself, hug it to myself. Oh baby.
Ooh, you wanna come and get me, kick me down and make me hurt myself. Oh no, you will never forget me. I'm imprinted on your heart, I swear. At times you make me angry, but I know that it could always be worse,
All right, I guess we're starting. I actually wasn't ready. I started everything and then I had to walk away for a minute. So give me a second to get set up here. I hope everybody's doing well. I know this is a super random Saturday stream. I don't want you guys to think I'm a loser. I'm not. I did have shit to do today that I got, pushed back. I got shit to do tomorrow now. So got very bored, and I'm not a big college football guy, so didn't have much to do today. So we're gonna hang out, and you guys are all gonna do it with me. Brad, I hope you're doing well. I saw your comment on my last channel, or my last video, I mean. I appreciate you, my friend. Glad you can make it to a live stream. Beige, welcome. Marvette, welcome. If you start doing commentaries, let me know. I'll definitely check them out. The more the merrier for sure. Rachel, welcome. MCL, of course. Printo, CGD, GCD. I will always trip over that name, but welcome. Hear me out, welcome. Not sure how many people we'll get on a random Saturday, but let's just get into it. Let me get to the right screen here. There we go. So to be honest with you guys, I'm actually starting to run out of just non-TCAP Chris stuff. We do have at least one more pretty long video to watch, or I guess series or something. I don't know. It's gonna be a laugh riot. I'm pretty sure it's what is it here? Actually, we have two. We have mortgages and Chris Hansen investigates sexual abuse in a woman's prison. So yeah, laugh riots. These will be really funny. But I figured we could start with something, just even better. Excuse me. I found this. This is Chris the day after 9/11. He is one of the correspondents they sent out to Boston. If you're, a little younger or just don't know a lot about, that whole situation. Boston was a big city that was involved in all of that. A lot of the planes were taken from Boston. Logan International Airport, I believe it was. We're not going to get too much into that, but they did send Chris out there, and I only watched like a minute of this, as you could see. I'm going to restart it. Figured we could watch this real quick to just get us going, set the mood, I guess. And then we'll get into a little bit more. Call me sus. All right, I can do that. I'll try to remember that. I'm just sitting waiting for TCAP live streams to appear. Yeah, aren't we all? We just refresh YouTube all day. I do know Laurent is tonight. I did get a link to who's doing it. Let me pull that up real quick. It looks like Cornvale Concierge is doing Laurent tonight. I don't think they posted the... Oh, I opened it on here. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think they posted anything about it yet. So, I assume that'll be later tonight. If it gets, started while we're doing this, I'll post the link, obviously. But let's start with this, and we'll keep going.
Matt. Katie, thanks. Two of the planes that were hijacked and then intentionally crashed took off from Logan International Airport in Boston. NBC's Chris Hansen is in Boston this morning. Chris, it appears that if there are any breaks in the investigation in the early stages, they've come there in Boston.
That's exactly right, Matt. Good morning. In many terrorism cases, it appears the first and most significant leads come from vehicles that were either involved in the crime or abandoned after the crime, and such appears to be the case here. Yesterday, law enforcement authorities here in Boston got a call from a man who had flown out on a different flight, got to his location, saw what happened at the World Trade Center, and something clicked in his mind. He said that he had an altercation in one of the parking garages here with a couple of, as he described, Arabic men. And he described the car that they had. When law enforcement authorities checked out that car, they looked inside and they saw flight manuals in Arabic. They were then able to connect that car, a four-door Mitsubishi that was rented apparently right here at the airport, to two individuals, brothers who had United Arab Emirates.
Like, again, somebody commented it, I guess is the word, I don't know, on one of my videos where somebody was bitching that I, talk too much, and somebody replied like, well, you're expecting analysis when it's just some guy getting drunk and laughing at predators. And he was half right. I'm not usually drunk. During the live streams I'll drink, don't get me wrong, but during the videos it's usually I'm just high. It's different. But yeah, can't really find a lot of funny things in this 2001 Chris, but one thing that I did notice is if you go down to the comments, every single one is he needs the hijackers to take a seat right over there. For hijacking, I am not coming, which that gets a thumbs up. I know that was 3 years ago. Very funny. Role-playing airplane, dude. That's a good one too. To catch a hijacker. They're all. I was just on my way to the beach, Muhammad Atta. Why does that only have 4? Oh, it was only 11 months ago. I'm probably the only crazy person that's still watching this. But I mean, yeah, it's a very serious. You can't make a lot of jokes, but it doesn't stop. The community, I guess. Clay, welcome. I don't think anybody else is joined. Chatterbait, welcome. Oh, you're yeah. 9/11. The crowd goes wild. Pete's welcome. Yeah, I don't know. 2001 Chris, he's not even. Is he? Well, I guess they did say he's a correspondent for NBC, but he's not even really doing stings yet, like any stings.
For its passports. One of those brothers is an experienced pilot. Now, I can also tell you from here today that they are looking at the possibility of 3 more of the hijackers coming in from Canada and then flying from Portland, Maine here to Logan Airport yesterday morning. Law enforcement authorities and FBI sources now confirm that they believe the 5 of these people were actually some of the hijackers who took over those planes that left Boston yesterday, Matt.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you something, and if this is outside your area here, I apologize, but I've also heard reports that based on the names they think were on those planes, that police are searching some areas in Florida, in Broward County.
They are.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's been a little hard to get the Florida information here in Boston, but I can confirm and tell you that based upon one of those names, and because it was familiar to federal investigators, they did execute some search warrants in Florida. To the best of my knowledge, they have not found anything too significant and are taking a look at perhaps a second residence. It's now believed that the person, the target, may have moved.
Right.
But they...
Pete's very good. Yes. I genuinely, can't make. It's hard. I can't make jokes during this. It's just it's fun to see Chris do some reporting, some on the street news reporting. I want to see Chris do like a weather, it's raining cats and dogs here, Steve. We're thinking we're gonna get around 6 feet of it's gonna flood. I want to see him do some weatherman shit. I know he's like way above that, but this is about as close as we get. But yeah, not a real hijacker, just a pretend hijacker. Just a curious hijacker.
do believe that he died in the crash.
Chris, obviously this is a breach of security at Logan Airport where 2 of the planes were hijacked. Is that an airport where they take pictures of everyone who passes through security?
You would think that would be a good possibility, but at a briefing here yesterday...
It's crazy. Like, again, I really don't want to make this a stream about, the events that Chris is talking about. It's not about that. We're just having fun. But yeah, like the idea that you're not just constantly under surveillance and like eagle eye watch, being watched at an airport nowadays is insane. Like I vaguely remember, I was pretty young around this time, but I do vaguely remember going to airports as like a child and like just walking right up to the gate with no ticket to like meet, like a family member who is landing on the plane, and like that, those days are gone. It's just, it's insane. So yeah, when they're like, yeah, you don't have any pictures of this guy, I'm like, well, you would think so, but it's just a different time. And admittedly, like 2001, we've seen like security camera footage. I mean, again, we're not going down this path, but we've seen the Pentagon footage of this, 9/11 when the plane hit the Pentagon. The cameras sucked dick. Like they were bad. They were really bad. So you probably wouldn't have got a good shot of this guy anyway. But let's just get through this so I can like try to have some fun, because this isn't fun.
The airport authorities...
hear me out. It's fine, we get it. I watch like a week's worth of 9/11 stuff every year. So I do have a weird tradition. A couple years ago, I'm pretty like every episode of TCAP, I just have on a thumb drive. I've had it for like 15 years now. I just get media that I really enjoy, and I download it and make sure I have it forever. And one of the things that I have is the full Howard Stern 9/11 broadcast. It's like 6 hours. It's insane. I listen to that like every September just to remember. I don't know. It's like an insane just like moment in history. I don't know. Full disclosure, I think I was like 6, but let's just keep going.
Said thus far, they do not believe anything of significance was captured on any security cameras in the airport. They have had some problems with security here in the past. There have been some fines. Logan Airport authorities have defended their airport as being as safe as any other, but there have been problems here in the past, and you have to ask yourself, you know, was this just a matter of the terrorists being very clever, being able to sneak one of these non-metallic knives on board, as we've heard, or was there a huge breach here? Were people not paying attention at the security post? It's the last line of defense at any airport.
But specifically, my question is there a video camera pointed at the security pass-through or checkpoints that would record everybody who gets onto a plane there that day?
You know, that's a good question, Matt. We were led to believe yesterday that, in fact, there was not. But we're going to have a briefing here in the next couple of hours with airport authorities as well as perhaps federal law enforcement people, and we'll certainly dig into that.
All right, Chris Hansen in Boston.
Just like grilling Chris on information he definitely doesn't have. He's just what is that, Matt Lauder or something? Is that his name? I don't know. I'm so bad with that stuff. That's basically the end of that. Let's just move on to let's play Matt Lauer. Yes, thank you, Printo. I believe that is. Let's play something funny real quick so I can like have a good time, and then we'll get into another more serious one. Beige, I joined the Navy. Oh yeah. Thank you for your service. I know a lot of people around that time, you know, enlisted. Including a lot of my family. Like I said, I was 6, or like 5 or 6 or 7. I don't know. I was pretty young. Anthony, welcome. Lumo, welcome. I think I got everybody so far. All right, let's have a little bit of fun real quick with this one. We watched the full like story of this. In a previous stream, but this is like just one part of it that is just like amazing. If this is what I think it is, I'm pretty sure it is. So let's watch this, have some fun, and then we'll like I said, I don't have a lot of these Chris Hansen non-TCAP stuff left, and they're all pretty depressing. Probably shouldn't have saved all the depressing ones for last, but let's have some fun with this. Give it a like real quick, and if you don't remember, this is the bike thief one, and the guy like yells at Chris and tries to fight him. It's very funny.
Hello? Hey, Dominic?
Yes, sir.
Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC. How you doing?
Thank you.
Good to see you. How's everything today?
All right, thank you.
You just bought a stolen bike.
No, I didn't buy a bike.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Where's the bike?
The bike's over there.
You paid a man
Nope.
$5 for it.
Nope.
We watched. We have it on tape.
Nope. He bought it for repairs. His wife's been for repairs.
He bought it in for repair.
Yes, sir.
See, I know you're lying to me because I was listening to the entire
No,
conversation.
there is nothing to do.
Yes, I heard it. We have it on tape.
No, sir.
And like I'm not a New Yorker. I've been to New York a handful of times, but you know I'm not a New Yorker. But this is a very New York exchange to me. You have a guy who's probably hustling. You know, I'm not saying he's in the right. I'm not on his side. You know, he definitely just bought a stolen bike. But it's very funny to me to be like, bro, I'm just trying to pay my bills, and then they like, I didn't buy no bike, it's over there. Like, this just seems like a very New York exchange to me.
You want to see it?
No, sir.
You said at first we don't buy stolen bikes.
We don't buy bikes. That's right.
But you just bought that one for $25.
Listen, this for him.
Here, show me the bike. Come on over.
That's right there.
Which one?
Right there.
This bike right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about it?
So, That's our bike, right?
What about it?
That's ours.
Yes.
Our
what
guy
about
bought
it?
it in.
Yes.
You bought it.
No, we did not. No, we did not buy it. No, I did not buy the bike.
Yeah, you did.
Turn
Hey,
Turn
do
that
not
off.
touch my stuff on the
Turn
street.
that off. Turn that off.
You bought a stolen
Listen,
bike.
no, I did not buy the bike.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Go easy
I did
here.
not buy the bike.
Go easy
did not
here.
buy the bike. The
Down.
guy bought the bike in for repairs.
I heard the whole
He
thing.
bought the bike in for repairs. All right, knucklehead.
I'm not the knucklehead.
God damn it, that one really got me. I forgot. I forgot he said that. I mean, fuck. He calls Chris a knucklehead. Oh, this was all worth it. This is why we watched this one, to bring us back. Nuggies, welcome. Nonstop, welcome back. Or welcome back. Welcome. I don't know. My brain is fried. Oh my god. I know you guys aren't here to listen to me fucking laugh and pause the video, but god damn it, that's so funny. We're gonna listen to that one more time. I wanted to reply to something first. Oh yeah, Chris, every time, yeah, he's like a dad. Yeah, exactly. Like, I referenced it before, and I don't know if it was a video or a live stream, but having him as a dad would be impossible. I gotta hear it one more time.
Put the bike in for repairs. All right, knucklehead.
I'm not
Put the
the
bike
knucklehead.
in for repairs.
Wait, I didn't go back. Just one more time. He's so angry. He's so angry.
The guy bought the bike in for repairs.
I heard the whole
He
thing.
bought the bike in for repairs. All right, knucklehead.
I'm not the
bike in
knucklehead.
for
Just imagine being so angry. Like, this guy is ready to fight. If Chris didn't have security, like, this isn't a dumb man. This isn't a dumb guy. You know, he might not be Chris Hansen, fucking University of Michigan or whatever levels of book smarts, but this guy is an intelligent person. I truly believe that. Right or wrong and what he does with that, whatever, but he knows the situation, and he was ready to he was gonna fight Chris. He was gonna fight anybody. But then he sees this as a real, setup here. They got cameramen, they got a security. Ron Knight's ready to go. Ron Knight's ready to fucking go. He's just waiting for him to get more aggressive. But to like be in your full anger and yell knucklehead is amazing. That's so good. McLean, welcome. Anthony, I don't know if I said hi, but welcome. I wish Chris was my dad. Maybe talk to a therapist. I don't know.
for repairs.
I heard the whole thing.
Knucklehead. He bought the bike in for repairs.
He told you that he grabbed it off the street,
Turn
Dominic.
the off.
Hey, do not touch it. Not touch that,
Turn
Dominic.
that off. Get off me. Get off me.
Nobody's got their hands up
Get
at you
off
here.
me.
I want to be. Oh man, hold on. We're gonna see him. I'll just let it play for
Their
a
hands
second.
up at you here.
I want to be this guy. I want to be this guy so bad. Like I live in a city and like I walk around and like I've seen some weird shit, dude. The first time, like the first week I lived in like. I've said it. I'll dox myself. Whatever. Like I live in Pittsburgh, and the first like week I lived out here, I literally saw a dude get hit by a car on a bike, and like his shoes flew off. It was fucking insane. That was my first week here. I've seen some crazy shit. I've never seen anything this cool. I would kill. If you could zap me into anybody's body right now, it would be this guy, and I would stand right by, like, I think this is for, like, the water, the drainage or whatever. I would stand right by this thing, and I would just watch this whole interaction live. And it's probably what he does. That's probably what he does.
Call the cops.
Good. You call the cops. That'd be great.
Get out of here. You trying to set
I didn't want to leave without giving his money back, but as you'll see, he didn't make it easy.
You trying to set us up some
I'm not trying to set you up.
No,
I'm trying to
set
see
us
if
up.
people stolen bikes.
No, we don't buy stolen bikes.
You did.
No,
Here's
we
your
don't.
money back.
No, we don't buy
You gave him
stolen bikes.
$25.
No, I did not.
We have it on camera,
No, I did
and we
not.
have it
No, I did
on
not.
recorded audio.
No, I did not. All right?
All right.
You trying to set us up? Try to set up. Try to set us up? No, you trying to set us up? Try to set us up? God don't like ugly, man. God does not like ugly, man. You're gonna pay hell.
God, do not like ugly. That's like, do you guys, this is such a reference, but I don't really like Kanye West as like a rapper. You know, some of his music is fine, whatever. But I had a roommate a handful of years ago who was a huge Kanye fan, and during the Donda album, might have been his last album, I can't remember. There was this like text exchange that got leaked to the internet that was like a producer on Kanye's album that was he overslept, and he texted Kanye. He's like, I'm so sorry, I set my alarm, I don't know what happened, it didn't go off, I'll be there in like 30 minutes. And Kanye replies, no need, you're fired, find God. And find God, that's the same energy. Like Kanye texted this dude, same energy as this guy. I love this video. This video is as long as the other one, and I just enjoy this so much more. Kanye, Printo. No, like, okay, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like Kanye. He's a very funny person. You know, as like a lolcow. And he made good music. He's a good producer. I liked when he was on Chappelle's show 100 years ago. But that's not what the stream's about.
You're gonna pay in hell?
I'm not the one who bought the stolen bike.
You are gonna pay in hell, buddy.
Do not touch that.
Yo, don't touch me. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, we're gonna take our bike and go.
Take your piece of come here. Come here. Give me
You want the money? Take the money.
Look, listen.
Take the money.
Get the back out of here. Get your back out of here. Get the all right?
Hey.
Oh, yo.
Do not make a mistake.
Touch me. Don't touch me. Get the all right?
All right, we're going.
Yo, come on in.
All right, go.
Push up, all right? Don't man. Start the all right? Don't start all right? Yo, hard-working people. Hard-working people. Busy here. Too long. Father, hard-working man, all right?
I know he is.
Hard-working man.
All right, Dominic.
All right?
Don't make
Don't try to put us out of business.
Don't make this worse. Let's
All
go.
right?
We're going.
Don't try to put us out of business. Don't make it any worse.
Okay, and I said it when we first watched it. Again, I forget which stream it was, but that is the most intense I think they ever got. Like Chris Hansen interaction. That is like the closest to an actual fight I think we've ever seen. Let me get the next. That's pretty much the end of that. I'm gonna put on the next one. Again, don't think this is gonna be a laugh riot. I saved all the really sad ones for the very end. Let's start with this one. I think this one's gonna be the sadder of the two that are left. And this one's about 20 minutes. It's all one video, thankfully, so we can just kind of get through that. I might, like, halfway through play like a palate cleanser, as TLI once coined, because I genuinely don't think this is going to be very funny. And I know, like, if you're on my channel, we're here to laugh. If you want to, like, watch analysis or, like, actually, you know, be invested into the videos, maybe I'm not the right place. But I do want to get through all this content. So we're going to watch it. This is Chris Hansen investigates sexual abuse in a women's prison. 1998. So that might be fun. 1998. Maybe we can have fun with, like, the year. But this is probably not going to be, you know, a laugh factory. But yeah, we'll get into it. Let's just there was something I wanted to reply to. I lost it when I was finding this. Who cares? Let's just fuck it. Let's have a great time watching this.
They're serving their time, but are women inmates being forced to face sexual abuse? One officer comes forward to tell his story.
Male guards, female prisoners. Does it lead to sexual abuse? A former corrections officer speaks out next on Dateline NBC.
Was that edited? That sounded so fast. Was that, like, sped up? Like, in 1998, is this how they did, like, a male guard, female inmates? Are they in danger? Is that, could I have just... Dude, I was born too late. I could have had a career in this. I should just be a voiceover guy.
comes forward to tell his story.
Male guards, female prisoners. Does it lead to sexual abuse? A former corrections officer speaks out next on Dateline NBC.
This is Dateline Sunday, November 1st, 1998. Tonight.
Damn, they tell us everything. It's Sunday, it's November 1st, it's 1998. Where were you? Where were you? November 1st, 1998. I would have been like 3 or 4. I would have been 4. I was probably playing with toys. Probably like a Batman action figure while this was happening.
She says she was abused by a man who was paid to watch over her.
He made my worst nightmares come true.
Women victimized sexually in a place where they can't get away. One man describes how he did it.
I says, I'll meet you in the bathroom, otherwise I'll write you up.
And she complied with this?
Women in prison being forced to do more than serve their time.
They would tell me how they liked it.
How they liked what?
Sex.
Critics call it a human rights disaster.
You've got more women in prison, more men guarding them, and nobody minding the store.
Chris Hansen on what...
Whoa, okay, hold on. I know we're going to see it a lot during this, but I'm just going to, like, waste all the time now.
More men guarding them, and nobody minding the store.
Look at Chris. Whoa. He looks bad. Is this, I mean, it's 1998, 480p, I guess is the best we're going to get. Why does he look ginger? He looks, what's that guy's name? Shit. Okay, I can't think of the name. I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but he looks like a skinny fuck, what's that guy's name? He's in Baskets. He just died recently. What a reference. Nobody would know. But he looks like ginger. He looks very strange here. I don't he doesn't look right. He looks like like a crypt keeper. David Caruso's dorky brother. He does kind of look, yes, he does kind of have that CSI Miami but like the brother that was kicked in the head by a horse. Conan, yeah, he has a little bit of a Conan vibe. Actually, not to spoil anything, Louis Anderson, thank you. Yes, Polynomial. I don't think I said hi to you either. Welcome to the stream. If I didn't say hi, I apologize. Yes, Louis Anderson. He looks like a skinny Louis Anderson. The Caruso one's pretty good too. He looks insane. And not to spoil anything, but my palate cleanser, like halfway through this, does actually kind of reference Conan a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean quite a bit. But let's just get through this.
Chris Hansen on what can happen when men guard women.
I felt like I had the power.
A Dateline investigation. Dateline with Jane Pauley and Stone Phillips, plus Tom Brokaw, Katie Couric, and Maria Shriver.
Damn, all-star cast. All-star cast. We're just missing fucking Ann Curry. I think everybody, that second woman, the main woman who's doing it with Stone, is the one I never heard of in one of the other streams, and everybody got really mad that I didn't know who she was, so I'm going to go past that. But if we could replace her with Ann Curry, this is an all-star cast.
From Studio 3B in Rockefeller Center, here is Jane Pauley.
Good evening. It can leave you damaged for life. Just ask women who've been through it. Sexual abuse often takes place because women feel like they're in a situation they simply can't escape. But what if that was literally true? What if the women in jeopardy are locked up and the men who abuse them are their guards? Tonight, how some women say the very laws designed to protect women may be the laws putting them at risk. Here's Chris Hansen with a Dateline investigation.
Ladies, introduce yourselves.
He says if I don't do what he wants, he's gonna make my life, miserable in here.
Left, right, left.
He just told me, stay in there and let me look at you.
He made my worst nightmares come true.
People want to know.
It's undescribable.
March!
What is indescribable, the women say, is the abuse they suffered at the hands of men.
Real quick, okay, the Jane Pauley thing, I'm 100% sure came up in a previous stream. I respect her work. I looked her up. I'm not familiar with her. I'm sorry. Unsubscribe. It's, you know what? It's fine. I did put a poll up in that last stream where I made people vote versus Ann Curry or Jane, and everybody voted for Ann, so I'm not wrong. Laura, welcome. Hope your phone's charged. We got a while to go.
Men who were paid by the government to watch over them. The women were inmates at prisons and jails across the country, run by counties, states, even the federal government. They admit they deserve to be there, to pay their debt to society for the crimes they committed. But they say their sentence did not include sexual abuse and exploitation at the hands of male corrections officers.
I'll just have one more.
Officers like Lyle Baker, who says that when he caught 2 inmates breaking the rules, he considered it an opportunity.
I caught 2 female inmates kissing in a mess hall. I sent the one back, and I told the other one, I says, meet you in the bathroom, we can go in there and, we'll have oral sex or whatever, and then otherwise I'll write you up. And I said, I'll make a ticket look good. And I said, you'll never get out of lock.
And she complied with this?
She complied with it. She didn't want no troubles.
How did you feel about yourself after that first experience?
I felt like I had the power. Like, oh, that was all right. I had control of the woman instead of a woman trying to get control of me.
No one would argue that Lyle Baker is typical of all male corrections officers in female prisons. And as you'll see later, he has a surprising personal reason for talking about this. But some human rights advocates believe Baker is a textbook example of a problem that prison officials throughout the country have not done enough to prevent.
You've got more women in prison, more men guarding them, and nobody minding the store. It's in essence a disaster waiting to happen.
Dorothy Thomas co-authored a report on sexual abuse in U.S. women's prisons for the group Human Rights Watch, which spent 2.5 years investigating women's prisons in 11 states. How would you describe the situation in the typical women's state prison today?
In essence, a highly sexualized, often very hostile environment in which all kinds of inappropriate sexual conduct are occurring and very little steps are being taken to do anything about it.
The United Nations is now investigating whether women's prisons in this country are violating international law. And the U.S. Department of Justice is suing the states of Michigan and Arizona for failing to protect female inmates from sexual abuse. Charges both states deny. During a 6-month Dateline investigation, we reviewed hundreds of pages of documents and interviewed dozens of inmates, advocates, and prison officials across the country. It would be unfair to suggest that only male officers are capable of abuse, or that female inmates never make false allegations or seek to trade sex for contraband or special.
He kind of has like a David Bowie thing. Like I can't. Is it the lighting? Is it the quality? Was Chris a fucking redhead before he had that weird blonde mop top thing that he had in fucking TCAP? I'm just so confused by his appearance in this. That tie is awful too. I'm not a big like fashion guy, don't get me wrong, and in my last video with Nugs, I kind of outed myself for not liking the turtleneck look. So maybe I'm, off. I'm off here. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and color me surprised. But he just looks so strange. I gotta get over it. I'm gonna get past it, but I don't know.
Special treatment, but putting male officers in.
He also seems not nervous, but you can tell this is 98. You can tell this is still early Chris. He did. I'm gonna rewind it. I know it's a live stream. I don't care. You tell me how much you hate this in the chat. I don't care. But when he walks in, he does this little we
reviewed hundreds of pages of documents and interviewed dozens of inmates, advocates, and prison officials across.
Yep. Okay. Look down. That look down. I don't know if he's looking for a marker. Cause I went to school for film and shit. So I understand that, like, if you're shooting something where you don't see the floor, it's helpful to, you know, put, like, markers and tape on the floor to let you know, like, this is where your last stop is. But, like, a good professional doesn't look straight down at it. You know, they have an idea where it's at, and they might be able to peek for a second, but they have a pretty good idea where their markers are, especially if you rehearse this more than once. It just seems very, I'm really picking, grasping at straws here. I'm not, you know, I love Chris. I'm not going after him, but you can definitely tell this is an earlier, Chris, NBC production. This might be 98, might be the first year. I've looked it up so many times, I don't remember. But this is definitely very early on into his career. So he's probably just trying to get everything right. It's kind of endearing. It's very endearing.
Across the country. It would be unfair to suggest that only male officers are capable of abuse, or that female inmates never make false allegations or seek to trade sex for contraband or special treatment. But putting male officers in close contact with female inmates has created significant problems and risks. And we found that in many cases, there are not sufficient safeguards to ensure that someone like Lyle Baker will be quickly caught and punished.
How many women inmates do you figure you had sex with?
At least 7.
7?
At least.
You had a reputation for doing this.
Yep, my name went around.
And a supervisor never talked to you?
Nope, not one.
This is the state prison where Lyle Baker worked for 6.5 years. Albion Correctional Facility in upstate New York, one of the largest women's prisons in the country. Albion made headlines 2 years ago when Amy Fisher, infamous for her affair with a mechanic named Joey Buttafuoco and for shooting Buttafuoco's wife, charged that 5 Albion officers had raped her. Fisher sued prison officials. Last year, a federal judge ruled that many of her charges were not credible. It also said there are indications that all is not right at Albion. Prison officials say they've worked to address those problems, and they granted us extensive access to the facility.
So this is our mess hall down here.
Approximately 1,400 women are serving time here for everything from theft to murder. It may look like a campus, but this is a medium security prison. Inmates are closely supervised, and 4 out of 5 of the officers guarding them are men.
Okay.
There are some things that male officers are not allowed to do.
You changing? Yes, I am.
Like strip searching inmates or supervising medical exams. Still, it is mostly men who watch the inmates while they're working, and men who watch them while they're eating.
Ladies, get ready for count.
It is mostly men who make rounds past what are essentially their bedrooms, and men who are responsible for the security of the bathroom and the shower areas.
Were you acting accordingly?
Officers have a lot of authority.
Wait. Is that the fucking... Okay. God damn it. Nobody accuse me of racism here. I'm just trying to be funny. But does he not look like Tyrone Biggins or whatever, you know, the Chappelle, the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway? Oh boy, like that guy. Fucking yeah. All right, whatever. Unsubscribe. I'm canceled. I get it. But this just seems, I don't know. And the Buttafuoco thing, that's hilarious because I just saw the Family Guy cutaway gag where he pretended to be David Letterman and made a Buttafuoco reference. And yeah, that was a big thing. I don't know if, like, a lot of people probably don't. Again, the age range in here is very all over the place, but that was like a huge deal. That was all over the place. The Buttafuoco fucking story. Everybody was talking about that. I didn't think we'd get a crossover here. Yeah, peanut butter crack sandwich. Clay, I don't know why people still watch, to be honest. I'm surprised. We're almost to somehow. We are almost to the little intermission I have planned. So let's just get a little bit further.
Their direct orders must be obeyed.
L2, why don't you stand over here against this pole for a few minutes? Let me see what I'm going to do with you.
All right.
Okay, just stand over there.
A disciplinary report written by an officer could cause an inmate to lose her work assignment.
She's probably going to get it if she does do it.
Be locked in a cell 23 hours a day, or even lose a chance at parole.
Do your top button and also your cuff buttons.
Male officers also pat frisk female inmates. This New York State training film demonstrates proper pat frisk procedure. Notice how this officer...
That is fucked up. That should be, I'm assuming now, I know it's 1998. I've, full disclosure, I've never been to prison. Or jail. Oh my God, I'm dying. I'm sorry, I just hit the pen. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. But I assume like the new, you know, like nowadays, because I watch a lot of like body cam footage, and I assume like the body cam on the body cam footage, like a lot of the times if it's a female driver or suspect, you know, whatever, they step out of the car, they'll get a female officer to do the pat down. So I think that's, you know, more standard now than it was maybe in 1998. I don't know. I might be wrong. I feel like pre-2005, it was still kind of the Stone Ages, but I don't know. Laura, what logo set are you making? Logo? Wow. I should end the stream now. What Lego set are you building?
Presses his hands against this inmate's body, probing under her breasts and between her thighs, looking for hidden weapons, drugs, or other contraband. Because many female inmates have histories of sexual abuse, a federal court ruled that pat frisking by male officers was cruel and unusual punishment in a Washington state prison. But in New York and many other states, the procedure is permitted.
They start from your shoulders.
But not all officers pat frisk by the book, according to Kathy Tasikas, a convicted robber with prior prostitution convictions. She spent 2 years at Albion and says one officer in particular would grope her and other inmates.
When he starts, he'll go and like this and around.
This is one specific guard?
Right.
At Albion?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't anybody ever complain?
They complain, they write him up, they grieve him and everything.
But he's still there, still on the job.
He's still there. Nothing happened.
They're back to the dorms around 10 o'clock.
And Janelle Andrews, the superintendent of Albion, says she assigns supervisors to observe pat frisks whenever she hears complaints like those of Kathy Tasikas.
You have a double locker.
But Andrews says she receives very few...
Laura, not to give you any ideas, but building Lego sets over Lauren calls could be a good stream. Just saying. All right.
Few complaints from inmates about pat frisks in particular, or sexual misconduct in general.
I think it's important that everyone recognize that Albion is not a sex-crazed institution.
As a woman, as a superintendent of a prison facility, are you comfortable with male corrections officers pat frisking female inmates here?
Yes, as long as they're performing it in a professional manner, as they're trained by the department.
But Kathy Tasikas says an improper pat frisk is not the only thing that happened to her at Albion. Once, while she was working in the prison kitchen, she discovered that a male officer had followed her into a supply closet.
And by the time I heard the door close, he was masturbating in front of me. He just told me, stand there and let me look at you.
Oh, he Louis C.K'd her. That's not good. You got to be funny at least. Space Pope, welcome. You just came in at my worst joke of the night. Let's just fucking. I think I have a palate cleanser intermission video I'm gonna play in the next like minute or so. I think so. We'll keep going through it. Yeah, no, for real, Laura. I'm not good at Legos. I build PCs. I actually just built. This is a total sidetrack. Please click off the video. It's fine. I like build PCs for fun. And I just built an XP, like Windows XP computer. And I was genuinely debating like doing a live stream of me just like building it and like playing like a call or like a random thing behind it. And then maybe, honestly, what I want to do is Windows Movie Maker is on it. And I really want to make a Windows Movie Maker, Windows XP commentary. It will sound like shit. It will look like shit. It'll be so fun. Let's just get fucking through this.
Masturbating in front of me. He just told me, stand there and let me look at you.
Stand there and let me look at you.
I didn't know what to do. I froze.
She says she never reported the incident because she didn't want any trouble. She was 21 years old when she first came to Albion, far from home, lonely, a ripe target for someone like Lyle Baker. Baker was just a few years out of the Corrections Officers Academy when he transferred from a men's prison to Albion in 1989. He says he had gone through a bitter divorce and felt that women were always trying to use him. Working at Albion provided a way to get even.
We're here now. It's my turn. You know, I'm in control.
His training failed to change that attitude, and neither did the prospect of being reported and investigated.
To me, you're going to have to get a picture of me actually having intercourse with this inmate to prove it. Otherwise, it's my word against hers.
Why do you think it was that you never got caught?
I knew the system. I knew when I could do it. I knew when the sergeants were going to make rounds.
But there was one thing Lyle Baker had not counted on: Kathy Tasikas.
And I seen her there. She's a very attractive woman. I says, hey, you want to start some rumors? I said, let's go for a ride.
What he did would change their lives forever. And
Is he the bad guy? I'm so confused by this. It seems like, I don't know. This might paint me as a person. I don't know. But if the guards, if the female guards want to have sex and you're in prison, for a long time, I assume, that's a pretty tempting offer. Now, if you force yourself on somebody, obviously that's fucked up. But like if the guards are taking advantage, quote unquote, on you, is he the bad guy? I'm just so confused. I want to know more. But before we get to any more, I want to play my intermission video here. It's a little bit longer, so this will take a couple minutes probably. I'll probably pause. But I do want to play one thing real quick. Let me get the link to this really fast. I see people commenting too about some old PC builds. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I do love PC stuff. That's like my my other passion. I don't think there's an audience for it on here, but I think it would be fun to just do like a random PC build one day and just like play a Lauren call over it or something. I don't know. But let me play this real quick. This is kind of unrelated, but I watched this earlier and I enjoyed it. He does hit the line that I hate the most from Hansen. I'll probably pause around there and talk, but we'll let this play. This is Chris Hansen on Conan. One of my, honestly, the only late night hosts that I actually liked, Conan O'Brien. I guess Craig Ferguson was pretty good. And then you have to go back to like Johnny Carson. But let's just watch Chris Hansen on an interview for a minute and see what that's all about, and then we'll get back into the very funny and very hilarious. We're just having a riff factory over here with how funny this one is. So let's watch this for a minute, and we'll go back. Oh, and real quick, Flaps and Clits, welcome. Danny, welcome. Moment, welcome. Really good bad boy, glad you can make it. Space Pope, I don't think I said hi to you on stream, so welcome. DML, you commented a while ago, but welcome if you're still here. Michael, welcome. All right, let's just watch some of this.
Is an Emmy award-winning journalist and a correspondent for Dateline NBC. His new book is called To Catch a Predator, Protecting Your Kids from Online Enemies Already in Your Home. Please welcome our friend Chris Hansen. First of all, obviously, not a hilarious subject we're talking about here, but still, I'll make inappropriate jokes.
That's your job.
That's what I do. First of all, I want to mention, when you started this series, people didn't know what to expect, and it was kind of a phenomenon. You didn't know that you'd catch, I think, since the beginning of the show, you've caught 250 possible potential.
And yeah, this was March 2007, so this is before Bowling Green. But after most of the stings, so this is pretty much towards the end of TCAP. And yeah, I never read his book. I've seen it. It comes up on my Amazon list every once in a while. From what somebody said, Lumo, it sucked. Yeah, I can't imagine it's a great book, but I'd be curious. I'd like to hear it.
Child predators.
That's
That could be the next. Now that I'm out of fucking non-TCAP Chris stuff, maybe we'll just live stream the audiobook in the next couple weeks.
Right. First of all, fantastic service. That's great. But second of all, would you...
Conan, I had no idea when we started that this would still be going on 2.5 years later. I mean, I thought
he's about to say the line. I hate this fucking line. He says this to this day. He still says this. He says this. I just hit my mic. I'm so angry. He says this so much. Before he even says it, I'm going to predict it. I didn't watch this far, but I know he's about to say, I felt like the Maytag repairman. I'm just going to be pacing around the house. Does the Maytag repairman even exist anymore? Is Maytag? Is that a thing? Wasn't that like Sears? Sears barely exists anymore. All right. I'm sorry. Let's just get through this so we can get back to the actual content.
Conan, I had no idea when we started that this would still be going on 2.5 years later. I mean, I thought we'd do it once or twice, and we'd get to the point where, you know, we'd have video of me pacing in a kitchen, you know, like the Maytag repairman.
Right, because no one's showing up, right.
Clearly, that's not the case.
Yeah, and of all of the experiences that you've had meeting these different people on camera, what was the most memorable? Do you have one that sticks out in your mind?
Well, twice now we've had guys who've walked in naked. The most recent happened in Fort Myers, Florida. Swear to God.
I saw one of those shows,
naked.
yeah.
So this guy is chatting online with the decoy, and he wants this girl to do this bizarre sex act that involves whipped cream and a cat. And,
right.
And she sort of plays along with the thing.
Right.
And says, well, I'll consider it if you walk in naked. So we didn't think he was really going to do it.
Right.
But there we are, we're all set up, and I'm watching on the monitor, and this guy peels off his clothes.
Yeah.
And he's coming around the corner at a high rate of speed. And he's coming right for the room where we're all set up.
Sure.
And the decoy's back with me, and I go for the door, and he's got his hand on the other side, and I don't know who was more shocked when the door opened. I said, why don't you grab that, you know, blanket, wrap it around you, and we'll have a little chat about all this.
Okay.
Which I was never taught in journalism school, to keep a blanket or a towel nearby in case a naked man walked in who wanted to interview, you know.
But Max has since apologized.
And that's why that's why Conan's a pro. You know, this dude's talking about sexual predators showing up naked. Quick, throw your drummer under the bus. throw the fucking drummer from what is it, Bruce Springsteen's Max Weinberg? Was it Bruce Springsteen? Bruce Springsteen? Can I say that? I think it was his drummer. Regardless, I fucking love Conan. But Laura, yeah, definitely somebody in the audience did say woo. I think if you go to the comments, yeah, the second top comment is, anybody else concerned about the man who wooed when Chris mentioned the idea of sex with whipped cream and a cat? Yeah. And once again, this entire comment section is just Chris, you know, related, which is I love it. I love it. Let's just.
Sorry.
Oh, Kitty Cat and Kit Kat. Or no, hold on. No, wait. Kate, welcome. There was a people that joined. Hold on. Kate, welcome. Kitty Cat Attack. We are live, as you can tell by me struggling. Somebody else joined that was cat related, I swear. I can't find the comment, but if you are a cat related person who isn't Kitty Cat Attack, who have already said hi to, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could make it. Let's just, God, this is getting bad.
He'll get me back. What I don't understand is, this is and we've talked about this.
Right.
One of the things that fascinates me the most is why these people, a large majority of them, when they realize it's Chris Hansen, it's Dateline, I'm caught, that they sit down and they talk to you for a long time. And they're sitting there and they're going on and on and on and on, when you'd think that, you know, some of them run away, but you'd think 99.9% of them would run away.
The vast majority stay in chat. And I think it's for two reasons. One, I think some of these guys are actually relieved. I think they've known they've had problems online.
They're happy to be caught.
Some of these interviews turn into virtual therapy sessions. These guys go on for 40 minutes and talk about their issues. And I honestly think some of these guys have seen the show, they know the routine, and they know when they walk outside that the police are there and they're going to get handcuffs put on. So why not hang out with Chris Hansen for a few more minutes and have a cookie and a little something to drink, and, you know, the inevitable is not good.
Let's talk about the cookies. You serve homemade cookies. You have them there, and what shocks me is these people walk in, you say, hi, I'm Chris Hansen, this is Dateline, you're caught, you're on national television, a sexual predator, and they sit down, they're kind of despondent and depressed, and they start eating these cookies, and they really seem to enjoy the cookies.
They're good cookies.
It's almost like an ad for the cookies. Well, so good, even a caught sexual predator will pause to enjoy one.
I think
I don't know who's making it.
I think it's out of a nervous reaction. I mean, you know, they really don't know what to do. They're still trying to figure it out. Is this the mad dad? Is this the police?
Sure.
You know, am I on television? And out of nervousness, I think sometimes they pick up whatever snack is there, a cookie or a chip or whatever, and start munching on it.
I think a lot of us probably who watch it have had a similar thought, which is I'm always thinking about, you know, because I work in television, I think if I was doing that job, how safe would I be? You know, because you don't know who's showing up.
Exactly.
You can't frisk them beforehand or anything because you give away then
What's
with the sting operation. Right. So people are walking in who are obviously disturbed. You don't, you know, there doesn't seem to be anybody in the room with you.
Well, we have a detailed security protocol that we have in place, and it's tailored to each individual location. You know, our security guys go through, they do things like, you know, take the knives out of the kitchen, you know, the glassware is actually plastic, you know, and a lot more goes into it than that. But I feel comfortable, and I feel that the crew is safe in these.
And I should mention, I guess one of the gentlemen that works here, security, Ron Knight, does our security as well, and he's fantastic.
Wait, whoa. Wait, Ron Knight gets a shout out, and he did security on Conan? Wait, what?
I guess one of the gentlemen that works here, security, Ron Knight, does our security as well, and he's fantastic.
Wouldn't do it without him.
Yeah. So, and you also told me once, when you were helping us out with an Emmy shoot that we were doing, a piece for that, you told me something interesting, which is you always keep the kitchen table, the kitchen island between you and the person you're talking to.
Sort of like your desk here between you and your guest, you know.
I don't really know you that well. We didn't frisk you.
Very funny. I'm still stuck on the Ron Knight thing. I guess they both did work for NBC. So was Ron Knight just like contracted through NBC? I thought he was just like best friends with Chris.
You before you came out here, Chris. I don't know what you could be up to.
I did have some cookies in the green room.
Yeah, that's how we keep people here. They're like, this isn't Regis. Oh, good cookie.
Yeah. Well, we do. We always have a barrier there for that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an extra layer of protection.
Sure. One last thing is, what have you learned? What tips? I mean, obviously there's a lot people can learn from this book, but what would you tell people right now is a good way to protect their kids in this current environment?
You know, I've talked to some of the smartest psychiatrists, therapists, law enforcement officers, child advocates. You know, I've looked into the eyes of 250 of these guys. So I've distilled all that information into 20 things parents can do to keep their kids safe online. Not just a list, but ways to initiate a discussion. And I think the first one is a very simple one, and that is limit the amount of time your kid is on the internet.
Right.
If the kid's only on the internet 2 hours a day, they'll get down to the business of IMing their friends, downloading music, and checking the movie schedule for Saturday.
Right.
And that's less time for loitering in a chat room in an area
where trouble can start.
Exactly, where they're a magnet.
Another piece of advice that you've brought up in the book, and I've heard you say before, which is really smart, is the computer should be in a public, in an open area.
Right. And you shouldn't be afraid to go look over the shoulder. And something else that I found
But when
interesting.
do I watch porn, is my question.
that brings up an interesting topic.
And that's why Conan's the GOAT. He made me laugh.
Sure. I need my porn time or I can't function at my job.
Yeah, a lot of people use these social networking sites and chats to meet really nice.
And yeah, Chris is, he's got a real... I hate the term. I hate like Gen Z and like Boomer and like all that stuff. Like I say it in my streams because like Chris does kind of like you know, he is the Boomer. He but like yeah, 2 hours. Like imagine that today. Like you couldn't even turn on your fucking smartphone without being. I recently just put a like screen time timer on like the main page of my phone so I could see like how much I'm actually using it, and it's shocking. It's a lot. But that's just like my everyday life, like most of it is just listening to old TLI streams, or like West videos, or Clay streams, or like just random streamers that I like. I'll put them in my headphones, and I'll listen to that for like my 8-hour work day, just to get through the day. Like I just can't imagine not being on the internet 24/7 anymore, and it is kind of sad. And I referenced it earlier. I won't talk about it too much, but like I did, like I said, I built like a Windows XP computer recently, and that's totally offline. And sometimes it's nice to like just I turn the phone off, I turn my like actual PC off, and I just get on that. And I refuse to connect that thing to the internet because I will get hacked. So it's just kind of fun to like be off the web, but that's like a treat nowadays. Like to not be connected for 2 hours is like a treat. You do that to like help yourself. I've rambled so much. We got like 30 seconds, and then we're gonna get back to the laugh riot that was the women's facility.
People on the internet. But if Johnny comes home and mom or dad is up till all hours of the night talking to strangers on the internet, what do you think Johnny is going to do?
Right.
You have to lead by example.
Lead by example. All right. To catch a predator, protecting your kids from online enemies already in your home is in stores now, and Dateline NBC airs Tuesdays and Saturdays at 8 and Sundays at 7. Great job, Chris.
Thank
and
you,
thanks for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Chris Hansen will be right back.
Chris Hansen. All right. Way to go, Chris. You really killed that interview. I think one day, I really don't think I'll be able to talk over it though, but I would like to stream the Opie and Anthony Chris Hansen interviews, because it's really funny. But like Anthony's going to make all the jokes that I already want to make, and like I just don't know how I'll even like do that, but I love that so much that I do want to stream it one day. But let's get back into this. I hope everybody had fun. Let's get back into to this.
Rage. Lyle's fellow officers.
A man took an oath to do something and do the right thing, and he violated it. He violated us.
When we come back, the twist of fate that's making Lyle Baker speak out now, and why he didn't see anything wrong with what he was doing at the time.
In a way, I was making them building up their character.
Building up their character?
Yeah.
Dateline NBC, winner of 9 National Headliner Awards, more than any other news magazine. The year's most honored news magazine, Dateline, will be right back. From our studios in New York, here is Stone Phillips.
Returning to our story, prison guard Lyle Baker says he had sex repeatedly with female inmates on his watch. But is his story credible? Just how common is sexual abuse of inmates behind prison walls? And what is Lyle Baker's motivation for coming forward now? Chris Hansen continues our Dateline investigation.
Can somebody look up Lyle Baker? What did he go to jail for? There's a lot of background information I would like to know about this man. Maybe they said it earlier and I just missed it. But again, I don't. Maybe it's me. Maybe I have a warped sense of mind. Maybe I'm all fucked up right now. Maybe I'm my mind's all fucked up right now. But I don't see him as the bad guy necessarily. I want to hear more. Like if he was doing it forcefully to like other inmates, fuck him. Obviously, like he should rot in prison. But if the guards were just like, hey, sweet stuff, you want to do something? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my mind. My back does hurt all the time, Clay, so I'm not far from Alan Cherney.
As outrageous as it sounds, corrections officer Lyle Baker saw nothing wrong about having sex with...
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I fucked it all up. Hold on. Let me go back. I did just have an epiphany. Oh, I really fucked it up. Hold on.
Dateline Sun.
He's a corrections officer. I didn't know that part. He's a corrections officer. So never mind. I take it all back. He's the bad guy.
with female inmates.
To me, it was almost like consensual because she was wanting it just as bad as, as I would.
For coming forward now, Chris Hansen continues our Dateline investigation.
As outrageous as it sounds, Corrections Officer Lyle Baker saw nothing wrong about having sex with female inmates.
To me, it was almost like consensual because she was wanting it just as bad as, as I was.
Why, because she didn't say no and fight you off?
Yeah. That's the way I felt at that time. To the way I felt at that time in my mind.
Okay, all right. Oh, God damn it. Okay, I promise you none of this is fake laughing. I totally missed the part where this guy was, I thought he was an inmate. I missed all of this. All right, yep, he's a piece of shit. Fuck him. Everybody is right. How many followers did I lose? It's weird. People just keep subscribing, Laura. I don't get it.
It was, because she was lonely. I was,
Yeah, but she also knew that you could make her life a living hell.
Yeah.
If she turned you down.
Correct.
But Baker says he only threatened an inmate once. After that, he just preyed on their vulnerability.
I treated them like they were somebody.
You make it sound like you were working in some singles bar as a bartender or something, not as a prison guard.
It was easier for me to pick up a woman in there than out on the street.
And he says he knew exactly where to take the inmates for sex. Stairwells, supply rooms, even staff bathrooms.
In a way, I was making them, building up their character.
Building up their character?
Yeah. They're in jail. They had a rough life. Say their father is beating them, raping them, whatever. I'm telling them, you're a good-looking woman, why are you in here?
All right. I'm not gonna lie. I need to pay attention more. When I do the live streams, don't get me wrong, I'm here, but I walk away every once in a while, and I do miss stuff. Didn't have an idea that this man wasn't a guard. This guy's a monster. Why would he agree to this interview? I totally missed it. Oh man, I appreciate your donation. I'm so bad with usernames. Synaptic. I think I said that right. I appreciate you regardless. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I hope you can get a good laugh off of this, because I'm I can't. I'm a fucking idiot. All right, let's I was wrong. Fuck this guy. Let's he looks like David Demers, like the gentleman. Have a good night. Like that guy. Why did he agree to this? Okay, all right.
Only doing that to have
I'm on the same page.
Sex with them.
Correct.
You didn't think that was some form of abuse?
No. Only thing on my mind was myself. Getting even with a woman. And that's exactly what I did.
Prison officials say that they are not aware of any complaints about...
How do you say that? Okay, hold on. All right, two thoughts. First of all, why are you dressed like an SS officer? That's a bad look. I don't like that. I don't think... Oh man, call me a fucking bleeding heart. I don't know. But I don't believe that if you work in a prison, you should look like a fucking Nazi. Why are they dressed like that? You just work at a prison. Like, you can have a nice uniform, don't get me wrong, but that one looks weird to me. I don't know. You guys just unsubscribe. This, I feel like I've said it every live stream, but this one is more off the rails somehow. But what is that outfit? I've lost my train of thought because of this. I know I had two thoughts. I've lost the second one because of this. We're just gonna keep going. Somebody said something in the interview I wanted to address, but then I saw this fucking, what is this outfit? Okay, all right.
About Lyle Baker, and find it hard to believe he could have done what he claims without getting caught. But the question is, why even put male officers in such close contact with female inmates? The United States is one of the few countries that does. according to Dorothy Thomas of Human Rights Watch.
In many countries of the world, men are kept out of the women's prisons precisely because the authorities understand the risk of abuse. In the United States, men are allowed in the women's prisons because of our equal employment laws.
Equal employment laws, and in the case of Albion, union rules that award jobs based on seniority and prevent the superintendent from simply hiring more female officers.
So to anybody who says, hey, look, they can get more female corrections officers if they wanted to, you would say...
I would love it.
These Albion corrections officers don't think men guarding women is a problem, and they are outraged that Lyle Baker has tarnished their image.
I'll meet you in the bathroom, we can go in there and, have oral sex or whatever, and then otherwise I'll write you up. And I said, I'll make it take it look good, and I said, you'll never get out of whack.
If he wants to brag to everyone that that's what he's doing, there's definitely something wrong with that man.
What we've seen on that screen is not the norm.
We're responsible people. People like Lyle Baker, they make us look bad.
All right, ladies, take it out.
In fact, the officers say that they are all well aware that having sex with inmates would make it nearly impossible for them to do their jobs.
I think the best line I heard was the first day I walked in Albion. If you have sex with one of them, you better be prepared to have sex with all of them, because they're all going to own you.
Because that's where the manipulation comes in, that's where the blackmail comes in.
This officer says an inmate threatened to falsely accuse him of sexual misconduct.
Wouldn't you have more power not having sex with the fucking inmates? If she bats your eyes at you and you're like, oh, I guess I gotta do this. Like, you're not showing your strength. I don't know. I've never been a prison guard.
If he didn't look the other way when she broke prison rules.
Just try to make things tough for me.
You believe that the proper checks and balances are in place?
Yes.
Do you think that more should be done?
I don't know what more could be done, to be honest. We just don't see it, and none of us would tolerate it.
But if Lyle Baker had sex with 7 female inmates in the course of 6 to 7 years, what does that say about the system of oversight at Albion, that nobody ever caught him?
I don't think he's credible.
He said it was easy. He said, you could just sneak off into a restroom or a work area or...
We find that all funny because you're never alone.
Never alone?
It's almost impossible. It borders on impossible.
But it isn't impossible, according to dozens of current and former inmates across the country who told Dateline that there are ample opportunities for abuse. Ellie Cruz, who served time for prescription fraud, says it all began with sexually explicit talk in a California jail yard.
They would tell me how they liked it and what they wanted to do, and that...
how they liked what?
Sex, what they liked to do, and what they would do to me, and I had to stand there and listen to it.
At this jail in Osceola County, Florida, Tanya Ross, who served time for drug and prostitution charges, says she was pressured to have oral sex with 4 different officers over a 2-month period, even though she was pregnant at the time.
I know I committed crimes in the past, and I was there to do my sentence, but that was not part of my sentence, to take and perform oral sex with the officers.
And one of the most common things women told us is that they faced retaliation by officers if they complained. Take the case of Robin Lucas, an aspiring basketball player who served time for bank fraud. She says that when she reported misconduct by an officer in this federal prison in Dublin, California, the officer retaliated by allowing 3 men, presumably male inmates, into her cell at night.
Before I could struggle, I was restrained and put in handcuffs behind my back. It was a lot of profanity, lots of punches. Solid punches.
They raped you?
They sodomized me.
What were they saying to you that night?
You're gonna keep your mouth quiet. Shut up.
So far, no one has been prosecuted in any of these cases. The officers accused deny the charges and say the women are lying. But some of the officers accused...
And, I don't know how much NBC really did for this situation, but, that is, that's heartbreaking. I mean, I feel for that woman so much, and obviously all these people. But like, again, having never been there before, I've never committed a crime. I've never committed a crime I've been like, sent to prison for. From what I understand, I think it's better. I hope it is from 1998. I hope it's improved a little bit. But yeah, it's just like, it makes me, that guy that I wasn't sure about earlier, I hate him so much more now.
Did resign.
It's been a long struggle.
In Robin Lucas's case, the Justice Department says its investigation found inconsistent and insufficient evidence that she was raped.
Oh, real quick, Codfather, welcome. Michael Mendoza, welcome. Derek, welcome. Yeah, I don't know. This is the end of the non-TCAP Chris streams I have left. They're all downers. None of these are fun. So I appreciate everybody who's sticking around with me to get through these, because these are rough.
When Lucas and 2 other inmates sued the Federal Bureau of Prisons, it admitted no wrongdoing, but agreed to pay $500,000 and make changes in the way it handles complaints of sexual misconduct.
And what about Lyle Baker's misconduct? We couldn't track down all the female inmates he claimed to have had sex with. In fact, one we did find denied Baker's claims. Another inmate has since died, but a friend of hers from prison confirmed that inmate did in fact have sex with Baker behind bars. Both women we spoke to said they were well aware of Baker's reputation.
And so was Kathy TCAP, who met Lyle Baker while she was working in Albion's mess hall.
He said, come on, let's go start some rumors.
And I says, hey, you want to start some rumors? I said, let's go for a ride. Because I used to deliver food around in a big truck.
How close did you and Lyle get?
We got intimate, real close. We had sex.
You had a sexual relationship?
Yes.
In the prison?
Mm-hmm.
Never got caught?
No, never got caught.
And a lot of people are going to see the story and say, wait a minute, how could this possibly go on in a prison?
It goes on. It goes on.
Lyle Baker's no longer working at Albion, not because he was caught having sex with inmates. In fact, he was never even reprimanded for that. He was forced to resign in 1996 because he married an inmate after she was released. That inmate is none other than Kathy TCAP. A corrections officer is not supposed to consort with a former inmate, even if that inmate is his lawfully wedded wife.
I had to go to jail to find the person I love.
You truly believe that?
Yeah.
They portrayed as being a Romeo and Juliet story.
What? You're gonna bury that lead at the very end? All right, I guess that's good storytelling, Chris, but what the fuck?
Behind bars, under candlelit skies, and it's disgusting. The man took an oath. The man took an oath to do something and do the right thing, and he violated it. He violated us.
Ready?
Kathy TCAP ended up back in prison. She violated parole by traveling outside of the United States with Lyle. And Lyle, last time we saw him, he was working odd jobs and hoping that other officers didn't do to his wife what he says he did to so many inmates.
Why are you speaking out about this? I mean, you're confessing to some things that...
Yeah, okay. So the question that we've, all of you have been asking the whole stream, and I just caught on to about halfway through. Why are you doing this? You're absolutely right, weird-looking Chris Hansen. Why are you doing this?
Don't say a lot about your character back then.
Back then, my character was bad.
Oh yeah, he was all messed up at the time. He wasn't thinking straight. Daddy, welcome. I don't know if I said hi to you. Addie, welcome. We're getting through this, then I have one more I want to play.
Oh, it's almost like I'm trying to warn these guys, the younger ones, 25, 20, even some of the older ones.
So people are going to see this and say, well, he's pretty self-righteous now that it's his wife in there.
Yeah. Only thing I can say is it happened. Males should not work with female inmates.
But in the end, is getting rid of male officers really the answer? Not according to Human Rights Watch, which is calling for better training and monitoring of prison staff, independent investigation of complaints, and criminal prosecution of officers like Lyle Baker.
Should you have been punished for what you did, having sex with those 7 inmates?
Yeah, what I did, it wasn't right. But there ain't nothing I can do now. All I can say is it's going to happen again.
Since we completed our story, Kathy Tasikas has been paroled, and she and Lyle Baker are now living in upstate New York. New York now has a law making it a crime for corrections officers to have sex with inmates under any circumstances. According to Amnesty International, all but 8
They just made it a law? Okay, hold on. We have 3 seconds.
states have a similar law.
Perfect. All right. Oh, wait. We got the, hold on. We got a couple of misdemeanors doing Laurent. Very good. Go check that out. We got Chris on Conan. That's good. What is this? Metallica bass auditions. I don't really. Lip Biscuit. The exhibit new videos. Yeah, that's all right. All right. I have one more thing I do want to play to kind of end the night out. It's a little bit longer, so we'll have a little bit of time to watch it. It is full disclosure to everybody. It is the last non-TCAP Dateline video I think I have. So that might be it for these kind of streams, but we'll find other stuff. Before we get into that, though, I do have something I want to play. This is pretty quick. Oh, that's not it. We already watched that. Hold on. Why didn't that save? There we go. All right, so this is another Joey's TCAP decoy call. I did the chat log for this person already. This is Eric Thornton. May he rest in peace. We're gonna get through this, and then we'll finish up with the last TCAP. No, not TCAP. The last whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Who cares? Let's listen to this. Oh, shut up. Let's listen to this, and then we'll get into the last video here.
Hello.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, it's Liz.
What's up, Liz?
Not much, you?
I'm doing alright, just hanging out and, not much really going on tonight, just kind of packing.
Oh, yeah?
To move
I see you on cam.
Huh?
I see you on cam.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Is my cam alright? Just wondering.
Yeah, your cam's clear. Can you wave to me?
Sweet. Sure, absolutely. Here you are. If I can actually...
I see you.
Alright. Ha ha. Sweet.
Yeah?
So what's going on with you tonight?
Not too much.
Really?
Yeah.
What's happening over in 14 Myers?
Nothing really. I'm bored.
Nothing. Bored as hell?
Yeah. Hey,
Same
listen,
here.
I think I hear my dad coming. Can I talk to you online?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Wait, that was the whole call? How? Yeah, okay, all right. We'll move past it. I literally have nothing to say about that. That was the most uninteresting call. You know what? I have one more. Let me pull this up. Hold on. I got one more thing I want to play. Before we get into that, my favorite video of all time. Let me switch over to this real quick. Perfect. You guys should be able to see that. We're gonna play this, and then we'll get back into our regularly scheduled programming.
It was just a brief tag you did, but you're just in a completely different studio.
Yeah, outfit. Yeah. What was you remember what I said roughly?
Hey everyone, it's me, your boy Chris Hansen.
Yo, get down. It's your crime clown.
All right. That's that. Let me switch back to that. Perfect. And all right, so this is the last series. There are a couple others. I mean, we got like sex trafficking by Chris Hansen, but again, I just don't think that'll be... I mean, all this stuff is available on YouTube. You guys don't need me to watch this. I just don't think that would be as fun. Not that mortgages is going to be any more fun, but at least we have a full series for this. So we'll get through Mortgage Madness, and then I think that's probably going to wrap up the stream. I really don't have any random Chris stuff after that, so we'll get through this, and we'll call it a Saturday.
It's a scene playing out all across the country.
I've tried my hardest. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
These are the faces of economic catastrophe.
We've got a court order here to go ahead and proceed with an eviction today. Basically, the bank's taking back over the house.
People losing homes, people losing jobs.
This is not your ordinary run-of-the-mill recession. We are going through the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression.
The question is, how many of us really understand why? Tonight, we'll explain it step by step. But to begin, what you really need to know is that the meltdown happened because of the failure of that one simple building block of the American economy, the mortgage.
Homeownership is the basis of a happy, contented family life.
Way back when, a mortgage was a great way for the average American to own a home.
Now, this is the way your payments will work out.
It was simple. The bank would agree to give you a loan, and you'd agree to pay it back over time with interest.
This is a dream come true for us, owning our own home.
Banks were careful about how they loaned money. They needed that money paid back to protect their depositors and stay in business. For generations, it worked.
Want to refinance and get cash?
But oh, how things have changed.
I'm an American mortgage specialist. I'm here to help.
Because in the last decade, it seemed like anyone was able to get a mortgage. Take the case of Paula.
I mean, I get what Chris is saying, but the way that he said it was just like, these commoners somehow can afford a house. Like, I mean, it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse.
Taylor, who had a dream of owning her own home.
The American dream. I come from a large family, 13 children. One of the second people to own a piece of property. That felt good.
But could she really afford to own a home? A few years ago, she can...
Well, I mean, she can afford, what was that, an avocado? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy. You should be able to afford a house. I don't know. Cancel me. Whatever.
Considered herself virtually homeless, spending nights with family and friends.
I would go to the place where I had my stuff stored, literally pack it in a suitcase, and then for that whole week, lived out of the suitcase as I went back and forth.
Then she saw a condo in this house near Boston. The price? Over $250,000. She says that as a personal trainer, she was making less than $20,000 a year, $1,600 a month.
I really wasn't educated in what it takes to get a mortgage. I knew that you give them your information, and they run the numbers, and they tell you whether or not you can afford it.
There's a formula. I either fit in it or I don't.
Correct.
The mortgage company determined Paula did fit in and gave her 2 loans.
Real quick, I do want to address 2 things that came up in chat. Real quick, Keanu, welcome. Glad you can make it. That wasn't one of the 2 things. The assholes that decided to hack the Internet Archives. Yes, Wayback Machine is kind of what I haven't done a chat log reading in a while. I do want to get back to that soon, but I rely on the Wayback Machine to do that because Perverted Justice website doesn't exist anymore. So to find all those chat logs, you have to go through the Wayback Machine, and they got hacked. And it's like, and outside of being hacked, you have people who are trying to shut down the website because they don't want like books readily available, books that haven't been published in 50 fucking years. We could devote, I could get very angry about preserving old media on the internet, but I'll digress. We'll get back into this. But yeah, that does also make me really angry. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was, I can't find the comment. Doesn't matter. We're gonna go.
To cover the full amount of the condo, $259,900. Her monthly payment on those loans, more than $2,100, even though she was taking in only $1,600 a month. Paula planned on making up the difference by having her sister move in and splitting the cost.
I was assured after a year you can refinance. And so in my mind, if I pay this for a year, then I can refinance and get into a better loan.
Loans like the one Paula got were being handed out by the millions, and even she now wonders why.
Why would they tell me as the lender that I can afford this if they know they're not going to get their money back?
Some consumer finance experts, like Elizabeth Warren of Harvard Law School, think there was method to the madness, which she compares to salesmen hawking products they know are defective.
This is about buying toasters that at the moment they were sold, the person selling them knew these things are going to explode.
Oh, it just ends? Okay. All right, let me get the next one going. We get another young Elizabeth Warren cameo, which is fun.
This is a typical residential street in Santa Ana in the heart of Orange County, California. You could call this the epicenter of our nation's financial meltdown, where many homes like this are now in foreclosure. It might be hard to believe, but 3 years ago, this house sold for $585,000. All of it borrowed by a man who probably thought he could afford it. But less than a year later, he defaulted. And now the house is up for sale at auction, if anyone would even be interested in buying it.
But why would a lender issue a loan that a borrower might never pay back? Some blame the problem on a good idea gone bad. Beginning in the 1990s, Congress made it easier to get a mortgage.
70% of Americans who own their own homes today, in no small measure, do because of the work that's been done here.
The rules for lending were eased so more people could qualify for mortgages. And with millions more now qualified, the lending business boomed.
I'm with Countrywide, and I got them all approved.
The biggest player of all, Countrywide Financial, run by CEO Angelo Mazzillo. It was Countrywide that loaned Paula Taylor nearly $260,000 to buy a condo, even though she was clearly unqualified. So what was the incentive? Well, first, salesmen were paid commissions for every loan they wrote, and the lending companies collected fees. But there was a much bigger incentive to make as many loans as possible. A pot of gold overflowing with riches, a scheme powered by some of the biggest financial institutions on Wall Street. But it was
just for fun, I Googled Countrywide Financial, and the first thing that pops up is a Wikipedia page called Countrywide Financial Political Loan Scandal. So I think they got the right ones. I don't know a lot about this. It looks like 2008, 2009. That's like when the crash happened. I was like 15. So I owned no property. So I don't know a lot about this, but I definitely know that name. But when I looked it up, yeah, they're they're not on the up and up, it seems.
all destined to fail.
It blew up because it was based on a scam.
Few people know more about the financial crisis than Harvard law professor Elizabeth Warren.
Down at its heart, it was based on selling mortgages to people who simply weren't going to be able to pay them off.
It was all based on a series of lies, beginning with the loan application. On Paula Taylor's application, it said she earned around $90,000 a year, $7,300 a month, even though she says she told them she took home only $1,600 a month. She says she never noticed that inflated income until we pointed it out to her.
So you didn't put down that you made $7,300 a month?
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Well, if you didn't, who did?
It had to be them in order to finagle the numbers to say that I could afford this property.
Would a reputable lender do such a thing? Deliberately lie?
Throughout the industry, they were called the liar loans.
Karash Parta once ran Countrywide's operations in Alaska. He's speaking out for the first time.
Liar loans.
That is correct.
Officially, they were called stated income loans.
There was no independent verification of salary, savings, investments. And this was official procedure.
Absolutely.
He says they even joked about it.
If you have a pulse, we give you a loan. If you fog the mirror, give you a loan.
He says if borrowers didn't lie, sometimes loan officers did it for them. Federal authorities caught Parto, and he spent a year and a half in prison for processing liar loans on behalf of a real estate speculator. When Countrywide found out, it fired him and others in the Alaska office. But Parto insists the practice of faking loan applications was rampant, and everyone in the business knew it.
So you're saying top company officials knew borrowers were submitting false applications?
It's impossible that they didn't know.
Countrywide executives portrayed Parto as a rogue who violated company standards. But listen to Bob Feinberg, who worked at Countrywide for 12 years.
Rogue?
You buy that?
No, I don't buy the rogue. I think it was infested.
Feinberg says that when he started, Countrywide was ethical and by the book. But then, things just went haywire, pushing loans borrowers couldn't afford, with interest rates that could adjust and go way up.
What's wrong with that marketing?
Because you're going to put them into a loan that's guaranteed to fail.
In Michigan, Linda Johnson, a retired school principal, lived in this house for 26 years. Then when her daughter got into an Ivy League college, she decided to do what millions of homeowners were doing: refinance, taking out a new loan for more money, paying off the old loan, and using the extra cash to pay tuition.
What kind of a mortgage did you think you were getting?
I thought I was getting a fixed mortgage.
But the interest rate wasn't fixed. It was adjustable. Like many borrowers, she acknowledges she didn't go through the loan papers in detail, so she was shocked when her mortgage later jumped to nearly 12%. To keep up with her loan payments, she ended up borrowing money from her pension fund.
I made the payments on time.
And not to dwell on it too much, but like, honestly, 12% nowadays? Not so bad. But yeah, that sucks. I mean, she was lied to. She should have fixed mortgage. Oh, wow, I can't talk. Fixed mortgage, which means like her interest rate should have stayed, the same. And she should have been paying, the same amount every month or, every 6 months, whatever she was set up for. And like, yeah, she got, oh man, I do enjoy that when you Google Countrywide Financial, you get the fraud Wikipedia right away. I forget the names that he said that he interviewed. Was it, the Wikipedia page list Christopher Dodd? Was that who he said? I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling.
At what cost to your retirement plan?
I've taken out everything I can take without a severe penalty. And so...
And how much longer can you hang on?
I can't. I'm tapped.
You're done.
I'm done.
Another homeowner drowning in debt, even though she thought her lender had her best interests at heart.
Let's be real clear about this mortgage crisis. This was not about getting people to own homes.
Elizabeth Warren says mortgage companies were more interested in profits and selling as many loans as possible, especially risky loans to risky borrowers. Why? Because the riskier the loan, the more a borrower had to pay in interest. So sales reps were paid bigger commissions for bringing in those riskier loans.
Mortgage brokers got paid a higher premium for selling every customer a worse product. They actually got a sheet of paper every morning that said, in effect, if you've got somebody who's got this credit score and this much down payment and wants to borrow this much, if you sell them something clean, we'll pay you $500. If you sell them something a little bit dirty, we'll pay you $1,000. If you sell them something really dirty, we'll pay you $4,000. That's how mortgages were being sold in America.
From 2001 through 2007, more than 105 million mortgages were sold, totaling more than $17 trillion. With so much mortgage money available, sellers could practically name their price, so home values kept going up. That means the mortgages also got bigger, and risky or not, lenders were happy, because the higher the dollar value on a house, the bigger fees they collected. Which brings us to another lie, the house appraisal.
The appraiser would say, what value are you looking for? Well, we want this value. We want it to come in at 1.3. Oh, okay. And they'd go out, do their appraisal, and it would come in at 1.3.
In that kind of environment, Karush Parto says Countrywide made one bad loan after another.
There are some times we would say if it was my money, I would not lend it.
Take the loan made to Paula Taylor.
Does she seem like a candidate to buy a condominium valued at $260-some thousand?
No.
There've got to be thousands of loans just like that.
More than thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands.
How do you relate what went on at Countrywide to the financial crisis?
Oh shit! Hold on. Okay, my YouTube page just crashed. Hold on. Can't see into the chat right now. That's new. But I did want to. Okay, it's reloading. Addy. I definitely have seen The Big Short. All-Star cast, great movie. Yeah, that does. Yeah. Honestly, if you want to know what's happening right now, just watch The Big Short. Way better.
The United States of America is in today.
It's the match that lit the fuse. Me and my peers, we knew this would happen. Not to this extent.
At the end of the day, is this greed? Is it arrogance? Is it corruption?
Greed. It's always greed.
I don't know why it's not. All right, let's just get to the next part.
As we tried to untangle the mortgage meltdown, we were finding example after example of loans issued to individuals who simply could not afford them.
Okay, wait. Piss Hansen moment here for a second. The ADD's kicking in. What is Kings? Kings? I've never heard of that show. Hold on. Kings. Oh, wow, I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Kings, NBC. Kings. Oh, only lasted for a season, but good IMDb reviews. Was this a show canceled before its time? I don't know anything about Kings, but that's a fun. You can watch it on Roku for free. So if you're interested, let's see, David and Goliath story, brave warrior in a city under siege. I don't know if I would like this show. But, you know, it did pretty well on Google. Go check it out.
Example of loans issued to individuals who simply could not afford them. David Carbajal, a gardener in Southern California, was about to be evicted from this house because he couldn't keep up with the payments.
Every month is $5,000 only for one bank.
$5,000 just for one bank?
Yeah, right now.
And that's your entire salary? It's more.
Yeah.
A lender gave him $600,000 to buy the house with no money down.
It sounds like a lot of money, $600,000 to borrow, when your salary is...
And I'm not blaming this guy. Obviously, he was taken advantage of. He should never have been approved for that loan. But if I got approved for a $600,000 loan, even today, like in 2024, I would be scared shitless. What would that monthly payment be? That's so much money, man. Like, even back then, I mean, $600,000. I don't know when this was filmed, but pre-2008, you know, $600,000 might as well be fucking $1 million at this point. I'm not getting approved for that loan.
$50,000 a year.
He said he doesn't know.
But his story pales in comparison to that of Dolores Parker Jackson.
You have 4 condos, 6 mortgages, including the second.
First and the second, you're correct.
Totaling $1.3 million.
That is correct.
2 of those loans were funded by a company owned at the time by NBC's parent, General Electric. Problem is, during the year she got several of her loans, court records show she was essentially broke, telling the IRS her income was in minus territory. Even so, she told lenders she was bringing home at least $15,000 a month and could easily afford the monthly payments on all 6 loans.
The monthly commitment on that is something around $10,000 a month. That's a lot of money.
That was a lot of money, but that was not a problem. I had a very lucrative daycare.
Then why did she tell the IRS she was losing money?
This is actually your 2006 tax return. It shows a negative income of $6,813.
Was this my income?
This was the income for the year 2006, negative $6,813, which means you lost money. She also has a history of filing for bankruptcy.
My husband filed bankruptcy, and so did I in 1997, somewhere around in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was also evicted from this house for non-payment of rent. So how did she get all those loans? In trying to understand how the mortgage meltdown happened, we already knew some mortgage salesmen were willing to look the other way. But lenders are supposed to have underwriters, people whose job it is to review and approve the loan applications.
Where were the checks and balances?
They weren't really there. It was more about money.
Eileen Loiacono was an underwriter for People's Choice, one of the lenders that gave Dolores Parker Jackson her loans. People's Choice said it had stricter lending standards than most subprime lenders. Still, Loiacono says that wasn't enough. She says that for administrative and basic personnel matters, underwriters there reported to sales managers. And as a result, she says, she felt pressure to approve questionable loans even when there were clear signs of fraud.
Falsified W-2s, tax returns, bank statements.
How do you even falsify that stuff?
X-Acto knives.
So cut and paste.
They would use someone else's tax returns, and then they put someone else's name in them.
And you saw this?
Oh, yeah.
She says she challenged about a third of all loan applications she reviewed at People's Choice, but was overruled by executives the vast majority of the time. And she says in a few instances, salespeople even offered underwriters like her unusual incentives to sign off on loans.
Boob jobs, cars, vacations, cash, jewelry.
Did you get any incentives?
I refused anything that was offered.
A spokesman for the company's former CEO says incentives to underwriters were strictly contrary to company standards. But Loiacono insists offers were made, and if incentives...
Right, so this company, Lonakiov, I walked away. I missed it. They offered boob jobs? Clearly she didn't take it. No. I feel bad about that one. What a weird, if I was trying to finance my car and they were like, well, we can get you $2,000 off if you get a boob job.
Didn't work. There were other tactics.
There were threats and intimidation.
What kind of threats are we talking about?
Your tires would be flat.
Your tires would be flat?
Yeah.
It sounds like it was being operated like a loan shark agency.
It was. It was.
What could prompt such extreme behavior? And why, unlike bankers of old, weren't lenders worried that these loans might never get paid back? Because for the most part, they didn't have to worry. Some other financial wizards thought they had it all figured out.
Once again, doesn't play the next part. Part 4. All right, there we go.
To understand the mortgage mess, you need to understand why a lender wouldn't be worried about lending hundreds of thousands of dollars to risky borrowers like Dolores Parker Jackson.
I didn't have any problems getting any of my mortgages.
Every month is $5,000.
Or David Carbajal. Or Paula Taylor.
Why would they tell me as the lender that I can afford this if they know they're not going to get their money back?
The answer is simple, because the lender was selling those loans and the risk that went along with them. Who bought them? Wall Street.
Wall Street was the end of the line. That's where the rubber met the road.
Well, the only thing he did say...
Paul Molo is one of the top reporters covering the mortgage industry and has written a book about the entire mortgage mess.
Why did Wall Street have such a big appetite for these mortgages?
Well, it's all about...
Just, like, looking at this guy, and, like, I know he's one of the good ones. I'm not talking shit, but he's worked harder than I ever have my entire life. Like, he's exhausted. This guy, they don't say it, he's 25 years old.
Making money. I mean, they made money in all sorts of ways, so it was a beautiful thing for Wall Street.
Here's how it worked. Loans like the ones made to Dolores Parker Jackson would be combined with thousands of others into giant bundles worth millions and millions of dollars. Those bundles were bought by Wall Street firms like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers,
Wall Street turned them into big investments called mortgage-backed securities, bonds that they sold to investors who collected interest on them. Wall Street loved it.
They ran a bond factory. They just wanted to buy those loans and make bonds as fast as they could.
Wall Street bought loans and sold bonds to the tune of trillions of dollars. And for a while, everyone was making out. Homeowners, lenders, and especially Wall Street investors.
It looked like it was going to be limitless for Wall Street. They thought it was going to go on forever and ever.
But in the frenzy, everyone seemed to forget one thing. Those investments were full of risky, some say toxic loans. Loans to homeowners who'd never be able to pay them back for houses that seemed to many to be way overpriced.
When all this boom was going on in home values, we'd all sit in our backyard with our kids and having a cocktail in the afternoon, and we'd see the house across the street sell for 25% more than it did 3 months earlier. And we'd say, you know, who the heck is buying these houses?
Many times the people buying those houses were the same ones taking out those risky loans, loans that ended up inside the bonds being sold on Wall Street. But how much did Wall Street know or care about those risky loans? Remember Eileen Loiacono, the underwriter? She left that mortgage company and got a new job with a consulting firm hired by Wall Street to review the loans it was buying. She says the job was less about checking out the loans than churning them out.
They're cracking the whip. Chris, they're cracking the whip.
It's like the chain gang.
Kind of.
So, like, real quick, I worked a job kind of similar. Like when I applied for it, I didn't really know what it was going to be, right? But when I got into the job, it was a lot of not necessarily finance, like houses or whatever, but it was stuff that people defaulted on. And my job was to basically help try to get them out of that debt. And you look at it and you look at the debt, you look at all that stuff, and yeah, a lot of the people, they're kind of forced. It's not always a house. Sometimes it's a birth. People, you have a child, you can't help. I guess like you have protected sex or whatever, but like outside of that, if you're gonna have a baby, you're gonna have a fucking baby. Well, that shit costs like $60K or $100K. That shit costs a lot depending how it goes, and a lot of these people aren't prepared to pay that, but they you have to, so they're kind of forced into these loans that I assume the hospital or banks or whoever's financing these aren't actually expecting you to pay. And I don't know. Watching this just gives me like horror story flashbacks to that job I worked. So I'm not gonna dwell on it too much, but the system is just fucked regardless, and it's good that there's people like this. I think she's a good person. I don't know. I don't want to. I've done that once before this stream, but I assume she's a good person. There are people out there who are like wanting to protect these people, and it falls on them too. If you get a $800,000 loan, but you make $20,000 a year, you gotta just say no to that. I mean, these companies are taking advantage. I'm not going on the side of these fucking what was it, Countrywide and all these people who take advantage of these people in bad situations. But it falls on both parties. You got to understand like what you make a year and what you can pay monthly. But if there's somebody like these Countrywide people or these whatever who are willing to be like, no, what, you make $10 a year? Who cares, dude? I'll give you $1 million. Just pay me back. Trust me. Your red flags. That company is obviously the evil company, evil corporation, evil whatever in this situation. Fuck them. But it takes a little bit of the buyer. I don't know. I'm rambling, and obviously I'm on the side of the people getting fucked over here. It's hard, even today. But there are definitely red flags you can notice pretty early on. before I lose everybody, let's just go.
And they don't want you to question anything.
And when you raised that red flag, what did your superiors do?
I got in trouble.
Even when she pointed out obvious fraud, she says Wall Street took the loan anyway and packaged it into an investment.
That took the wind out of my sail. It took the wind out of my sail.
She says it should have been obvious to anyone that loaning money to people who couldn't pay it back meant big trouble. And even if lenders and underwriters were signing off on bad loans Wall Street wanted to package as investments, there was one last chance to catch on to the problem. Before Wall Street firms sold those mortgage-based investments, they hired companies like Standard & Poor's to give them ratings, so investors, mostly big institutions like banks and pension funds, would know the risk of what they were buying.
They were very solid investments.
Richard Gugliotta was an executive with Standard & Poor's. He says the company did the best job possible with the information it had at the time.
The historical experience of mortgage-backed securities was, plain and simple, these securities do not default.
They never had a problem before.
They never had a problem.
And even when Wall Street came up with super complex mortgage investments, ratings agencies thought they had a handle on it.
And okay, I'm not going to dwell on this. I don't want to make this like part of the whole chat or whatever, but at the end of the day, in America, if we're going to give corporations all these powers, there should be some type of middle, no, I'm not saying a middleman, but these corporations, they can do whatever they want, and if it turns out it's against the laws just change. So no, I'm definitely not pro any of these fucking investors. Fuck them. He kind of looks like not Tony Romo, Troy Aikman. He looks like Troy Aikman. I want him to call a Sunday night football game. But yeah, that we're all over the place. I've lost viewers. Let's just get through this.
We had two guys who came out of NASA.
So you got NASA scientists.
NASA scientists.
But some critics say ratings companies disregarded risks to please the very same Wall Street firms that were paying them to rate those complex investments. Gugliotta acknowledges that 90% of the time, his team gave them the highest grade possible, AAA.
A skeptic may say, of course they're giving a high percentage of these away because they make money by doing this. What do you say to that?
Nobody was giving away ratings. Every single deal that went out the door had to meet our criteria standards.
Looking back, he says it's clear the ratings were too high.
So knowing what you know today, you would not have given any of these things tied to mortgages a AAA rating?
Correct.
How could this go wrong?
It's not the rocket scientists who were to blame. It was the lack of data to support some of the assumptions that were being made.
In other words, he says no one knew just how risky the risky loans inside those investments could be, even those NASA scientists.
I don't care if you're from NASA or Vassar. There was no history at all of a market where you were lending money to people with bad credit to buy a house, and you were accepting down payments that were zero. There was no history.
You guys know the SNL digital shorts with Lonely Island when they would get Chris Parnell, what were the songs? Chris Parnell did the one with Natalie Portman. I think it's just called like Natalie's Rap or something. He looks like Chris Parnell in those fucking videos. That's, you know what? I'm no longer doing like serious analysis. Not that I was, not that I ever have. But we're not talking about the economy anymore. I'm no. This is what you're getting. He looks like Chris Parnell.
You'd have thought someone would have asked more questions. But just as the mortgage companies passed the risky loans to Wall Street passed the risk onto investors. So in the end, no one bothered to go back and take a closer look at the actual loans that Wall Street bought from mortgage companies where some underwriters were pressured to approve loans for borrowers who'd never be able to pay them off.
Wall Street has got this reputation for being the smartest guys in the room. When someone from a reputable Wall Street firm calls you up and says they have a great investment, you tend to believe them.
And plenty did believe. Huge institutions, corporations, pension funds, government agencies here and abroad had invested trillions of dollars in a system they thought was sound. Some Wall Streeters had made out like bandits. For the rest, the end was near.
Here we are. You're rich. But what are the rest of us going to do?
I love how these end. They're like so dramatic. Okay. I think we have 2 more parts, and there's a part 5. Yeah, there's a part 6. 8 minutes. 6 minutes. Yeah, we got about like 20 minutes left or so. I'll probably still ramble, but we're getting towards the end here. Not sure. Let me refresh the page. I know Cornville Concierge. Concierge? I don't know. I think I pronounced that right. They're doing Laurent tonight. They have not posted anything to link to, though. So, once again, I will post their channel in the chat. There it is. That's where Laurent is tonight. I'm going to end pretty soonish. But yeah, go listen to Laurent. Let's just finish this.
The beginning of the end came in 2007.
We shall not be moved.
All across America, borrowers like Paula Taylor couldn't keep up with their payments. They defaulted.
Shame! Shame!
Protesters came out to support her, but authorities evicted her anyway.
I'm still to this day embarrassed about what happened to me.
As the bad loans surfaced, it set off a kind of nuclear chain reaction. Remember, many of those bad mortgages were bundled up by Wall Street and sold to investors. So when the loans went bad, so did those bundles, and the investments built from them. In fact, we traced Paula Taylor's mortgage. It was sold by Countrywide as part of a bundle of loans that was administered by the Bank of New York. That bundle was divided up and resold, with portions ending up in at least 2 securities, combined originally worth billions, both now virtually worthless. Just a small fraction of the losses that across the board amounted to trillions.
Dire straits. Bear Stearns, one of the nation's biggest banks, suddenly...
We get an Ann Curry. We get an Ann Curry fucking cameo. Let's go. Dire Straits. Great band. Pritzo going to Baked Salmon. Yeah, go watch. I know Baked does streams every Saturday. Laurent is tonight. Plenty of other stuff to go watch after I'm done. Or if they start while I'm going, go watch them. But we are almost finished. We get a fucking Ann Curry, who did win the pool once again. I want to point out, everybody was giving me shit about that Jane woman, but Ann Curry wins out again. All right, let's go.
Life support.
Wall Street giants like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers collapsed. The mortgage business dried up. The economy driven to the brink. So who's to blame, and who should be held accountable? Borrowers like Dolores Parker Jackson, who got $1.3 million even though she was basically broke?
There are going to be some people who see this and say, Dolores, you're an example of someone who took advantage of loose lending standards, borrowed too much money, and got in over your head. What do you say to them?
I don't think so. I don't think I got in over my head.
And yet it looks like she's going to lose her condos.
Do you take any responsibility for that mess, Dolores?
Again, all right, I'm gonna fucking put myself in a hole here, but like, her condos were worth like $1.3 million or something. Does she make close to that? Again, she was given a loan she never should have been given, and that's on the loaners and the banks and whatever. I'm totally against everybody here. Don't go. But like, I don't know. If I got approved for a loan for $1.3 million, and my only defense was, I don't think I got, I wasn't over my head, and then it just cut immediately. I don't know. John, welcome. Yes, this ain't the new dirt. Darnell will haunt me for the rest of my life, probably.
For the mess that I'm in right now?
The mess that you're in right now?
No, I don't take no responsibility.
So you're the victim here?
I'm a victim.
When you signed that mortgage, did you go through the documents in detail?
No.
How come you didn't?
Busy person, trusting person, American person. Before this all happened to me, I could not even envision Americans doing what's been done to me to other Americans. And that sounds really naive, but you can tell by my hair, I'm old school.
How much do you blame Countrywide and how much do you blame yourself?
Wait. I want to get through this. I actually do kind of want to like wrap up the stream here, but I don't like that lady. I don't know a lot about her. I understand like my job. Oh, did I just go all the way back? How'd that happen?
My head.
Like I've gotten busy at work, and you just you go through it or whatever. But like, if that's your mentality, whatever. But don't agree to an interview on NBC with Chris Hansen.
Signed that mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go through the documents in detail?
No.
How come you didn't?
Busy person, trusting person, American person. Before this all happened to me, I could not even envision Americans doing what's been done to me to other Americans. And that sounds really naive, but you can tell by my hair, I'm old school.
How much do you blame Countrywide and how much do you blame yourself?
I blame myself just a little bit. The bank had the upper hand in this. They were the one who came and said, you can afford this.
What about the people who sold the loans, like Karash Parto of Countrywide?
You know, and if you ask a loan officer, he's going to probably say, I blame myself a little bit because the underwriter was supposed to catch any mistake in the file. And all the way down to Wall Street and so on. Everybody blames themselves a little bit. Meanwhile, we have a major problem in this country.
So much blame to go around, and yet so few willing to acknowledge it. Like Richard Gugliotta, the former ratings agency exec, who says this about his industry.
I don't believe you can assign blame or fault.
Well, somebody's to blame.
Not one single piece of research I have seen predicted the magnitude or course that the housing bubble would take when it burst.
But some say they should have seen it coming.
I'm sorry. The only people who can say we never knew are people who didn't want to know.
Is Treasury imposing reforms on financial institutions?
Harvard professor Elizabeth Warren is now chairing a congressional panel overseeing the massive federal bailout. She points the finger at the guys at the top of the chain.
These guys are smart guys, though. How could so many of them get it wrong?
Hey, they didn't get it wrong from their point of view. They made big money. Go back and look at the compensation.
What's the toughest question you would pose to these people?
So what do you plan to do now? Here we are. You're rich. But what are the rest of us going to do?
So many of the people we interviewed for this story have suffered, losing homes, losing jobs, all uncertain about their future. But what about those guys at the top? Like James Kane, the former head of Bear Stearns, paid $155 million in his last 5 years on the job. And Lehman Brothers chief Richard Fuld, who with $354 million in pay, collected lavish homes all over the country. Most of the big fish have avoided the cameras.
It seems that the system worked for you, but it didn't seem to work for the rest of the country.
Though Fuld was called in by Congress.
Given the opportunity to look back, I would have done things differently.
But for many, the biggest fish of all was Angelo Mozillo, the charismatic founder of Countrywide, who pocketed nearly $400 million in recent years. 2 years ago, the very public Mozillo told CNBC this.
I don't think I've ever made a loan, a country has ever made a loan, where we believed that the borrower was going to default.
But that was before he resigned, and Countrywide was taken over by Bank of America. So what does he have to say today? We tried repeatedly to reach out to him for an interview, but after his lawyer didn't return our calls, we decided to pay a visit to Mozillo himself.
And I was going to say, that dude's worth like $1 billion. You're not, he's not going to answer your fucking calls. But no, Chris, you know, Chris got that NBC money. He'll just make the trip. Who cares? I guess that's what part 6 is. All right, let's see this.
Easier said than done. Once known for his public appearances, Mozillo is now a recluse, apparently holed up down this winding country road outside Los Angeles behind a guarded gate.
Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. I wanted to try to talk to Angelo Mazzillo.
Okay. Is he invited you to come in?
He's not. I wanted to try to chat with him.
Unfortunately, I can't let you in.
And we end with Chris with the sunglasses in the mouth. All right, we got one more part. Is he going to talk to this guy? Angelo Marzillo, is that his name?
With the layoffs and foreclosures spiraling out of control, the suffering is increasing each day.
Where are you going to go now?
I don't know. There are allegations that some captains of the financial industry knew all along a collapse was inevitable, but still continued to take advantage of the profits. Now, as taxpayers are funding a massive bailout, the public is demanding accountability.
I think the entire industry shares some of that responsibility, and for that we are sorry for it.
But regardless of whether they made millions, was there anyone in the financial world who could answer the question, what was everybody thinking? It turns out there was.
Did you see this coming?
Yes.
Karen Weaver is one of the top analysts at Deutsche Bank, a major player in the mortgage investment business. She says in April 2005, she left the confines of Wall Street and traveled to California to get some answers. She's now credited as being one of the first to figure out what was behind all those mortgages.
It was the first peek behind the green curtain, if you will, sort of, to how these mortgages are being underwritten.
Her mission? To meet in person with the people approving the loans that were being folded into investments. What she found stunned her. Underwriters who did not seem worried about issuing risky loans.
What was disconcerting was it meant that they weren't really vouching for the fact that they were creating a loan that they felt was creditworthy.
She says some underwriters reasoned that before a loan defaulted, a borrower could just refinance and pay it off with yet another risky loan.
They were saying that essentially the problem was going to roll off down the line.
So it was sort of like playing hot potato.
One could argue, yes.
And that risky loan is gone. He's into a different loan, and that's not our problem.
That's exactly right.
In other words, she believed lenders were just putting off the inevitable day of reckoning, though she didn't know just how bad it would get. So in September 2005, her group at Deutsche Bank issued this report predicting subprime mortgage losses will increase significantly and recommending that investors bet against the mortgage market. But she wasn't the only person to see what was happening. James LaLiberty was the chief operating officer at People's Choice Home Loan. He has never spoken publicly before.
And how much did you buy this for?
$135,000.
It was his company that loaned Dolores Parker Jackson nearly $300,000, even though she was basically broke. And with so many loans like that, he admits he knew a crisis was on the horizon. And he even asked Wall Street bankers about it.
The answer was, well, you know, a lot of us see this problem coming. We just don't know what we're going to do.
So let's just ride it as long as we can.
Don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. The income has to fit.
And listen to what this 15-year veteran of the industry and ultimately a chief operating officer says about his own company.
The reputation of the company was that it was a fraud factory.
A fraud factory?
It was very spotty. The chief appraiser once said, fraud is what we do.
Fraud is what we do?
Fraud is what we do. That's how we got where we are today.
I love Chris, he just repeats. Fraud is what we do. Hey, Duchess, welcome. Michael, I don't know if I said hi to you, but welcome.
A fraud factory?
It was very spotty. The chief appraiser once said, fraud is what we do.
Fraud is what we do?
Fraud is what we do. That's how we got where we are today.
He acknowledges People's Choice was more conservative than a lot of subprime lenders, but says it shared many of the industry's problems, especially those stated income loans, where borrowers didn't have to prove how much they made. How bad was it? He showed us a list of thousands of People's Choice stated income loans, totaling more than $2 billion. He says many were risky, some possibly fraudulent. Example, a massage therapist claimed an income of $15,000 a month, $180,000 a year.
What are the odds, in your opinion, that this massage therapist really makes $15,000 a month?
Well, in my opinion, it would be none.
But People's Choice gave him 2 loans totaling $640,000. For a carpenter, the income listed was $12,700 a month, more than $150,000 a year. And a house cleaner, $11,500. La Liberty says he showed the list to the staff members as a training tool so they could see the kinds of loans they needed to stop issuing.
Well, I mean, the initial reaction was laughter. And then I said, well, wait a minute here. And y'all think it's funny. I think it's funny too, sort of. I said, but these are loans that we funded. These are loans that we wired the money on. I said, if you think it's funny, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore.
It wasn't funny.
That guy gets to play the best role, too, because he took over after, and he gets to play the good guy in this. But, like, you kind of sense that guy's a piece of shit, too, right? Am I the only one?
These are the kinds of loans that ended up being sold on Wall Street, the kinds of loans that are at the core of the financial meltdown. Did People's Choice withhold information about shaky subprime loans to the folks who bought those loans?
Yes.
Did you go to anybody?
I went to our general counsel.
And what happened?
And he felt that we had an obligation to disclose that fact.
And was that information disclosed?
Not that I'm aware of.
La Liberty says that as chief operating officer, setting underwriting guidelines was his responsibility. He says he tried to improve the system, but ran into resistance.
Here I thought I was fighting to keep a company viable, and yet I was perceived to be the guy that was trying to put us out of business.
In the end, La Liberty was fired. Remember, he was one of the company's top executives. And where's his boss, CEO Neil Cornsweet? The company, People's Choice Home Loan, went out of business. But today, Cornsweet lives in this oceanfront home in Southern California. Owns a private plane like this.
VHA utilizes the highest level of ethics and integrity in our auctions.
And works with a business, auctioning foreclosed properties. Cornsweet declined to be interviewed on camera, but told us he believes it's unfair to include People's Choice in this report, saying that his company had higher standards than most and that its loans performed...
James, I appreciate you with your... Finance Pros, let's chat. Yeah, I could definitely use some financial advice, so I'll come your way. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. We are getting towards the end of this, but I do appreciate you. Bruce, welcome. Yeah, we got like 2 minutes left of this. I'm gonna play some music, and we'll probably end it pretty shortly. But I appreciate all of you hanging out on a Saturday. I know it was very random, but I appreciate you all. You guys are the only reason I do this, honestly, but let's keep going.
Better than average. He denied withholding information from Wall Street investors and denied that underwriters were unduly pressured by salespeople. He also said when senior executives learned of wrongdoing, they took action, firing about 30 employees for violating company policies and cutting off business ties with more than 100 unethical mortgage brokers. In statements to NBC, his spokesman said that People's Choice did everything it could to prevent abuse. He also said it bought back bad loans from Wall Street. We are confident that research will show that People's Choice is the antithesis of the poster child for abuse in subprime lending. According to this letter filed in the People's Choice bankruptcy case, Cornsweet is facing several legal claims, including one that he improperly withdrew more than $13 million of deferred compensation from a company trust. His spokesman says the allegations are untrue. As the nation struggles to recover, will any of the key players be held accountable, even go to jail?
Why do CEOs all look the same? Like they're all the same guy. That guy. Yep, that guy. Yep, he runs a company. Like they all look the fucking same. Even to this day, nothing's changed.
Accountable, even go to jail. With so many involved and so much blame to go around, it could take years to sort out. But as Shakespeare suggested, the fault may not be in our stars, but in ourselves.
If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that for too long we have not always met these responsibilities, as a government or as a people. I say this not to lay blame or to look backwards, but because it is only by understanding how we arrived at this moment that we'll be able to lift ourselves out of this predicament.
Where does this leave the average American family?
Crashed and burned. Families are wiped out over this. We're bankrupting people who worked their whole economic lives. And we're saying, hey, you know, this is how markets work.
Oh, okay. I guess, is that it? Yeah, I guess that's it. I have nothing else. I did get some new music. If you guys were here in the very beginning, you might have heard some of that. I'm gonna play a little bit more of it to end. Nothing like, it's all YouTube music. It's not like, you know, TCAP related or anything. But that's all I got for today, I think. We did get through. I don't think I have any other Chris Hansen non-TCAP related stuff. So that's the end of these streams. I'll find something else. Streams aren't ending or anything, but the impromptu Chris Hansen non-TCAP stuff I think is done. There might be like random 30-second videos maybe I can pull up here and there, but we basically got through all of it. So yeah, just appreciate all you guys hanging out Saturday afternoon. Cornville concierge, I don't know. They're doing Laurent tonight. They have not posted anything, so I don't know when it starts, but posting their channel in the chat and pinning it. Go check that out. Should have some stuff coming out next week. I do have a video planned and a couple of live streams on a few other people's channels, so I'll make that known in my community tab, I'm sure. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna throw up a ending screen, Jesus, and play a little bit of music. I'll hang out on chat if anybody wants to talk for a minute or two. But thanks for hanging out, everybody, and until next time, I'll find something to ramble over.
Printed on your heart, I swear, at times you make me angry, but I know that it could always be worse, be worse, be worse. Baby, now I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I know everything that was about you. No, I'm joking, I'm looking for the bathroom. Round and around, yeah, round and around we go. Picture perfect, but so many flaws that stopped you. I don't wanna ever see you in the same room. I open up and then you hit on all my issues. Round and around we go, we go. Didn't think you would ever believe in me. Now I see your colors, now they're in my dreams. Do I need a doctor? Do I just need sleep? Cause I've been up for almost 3 weeks. Oh, you think you got to me? All you did was use me. Round and round we go. We go. Baby, now I'm trying to forget you. Baby, I know everything that was about you. No, I'm joking, I'm looking for the bathroom. inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.